slowly. So we already in too deep. Can't get no sleep on each other. Heavy teasing all day, and when the sun sets, you asking me to come through, kick it with you. Night turn into morning dew. Then you feel it rushing in, lose control. You don't wanna go slow, for sure. We both already know your place is my place now. My place is your place, let's face it. Baby, you know all the places. Places. My place is your place. My place. Your place is my place. Just face it. No one knows my places like you do. Your places like I do. My place like you do. Baby, don't stop. Got the key to the lock. We in our own zone. Make yourself at home. Get to know mine on the inside. Can meet at yours next time. And you feel it rushing in, lose control. You don't wanna go slow, for sure. We both already know your place is my place now. My place is your place, let's face it. Baby, you know all the places. Places. My place is your place. Your place is my place. Just face it. No one knows my places like you do. Your places like I do. My place like you do.
I know that you know I saw it. Your words like little knives. Part of me thought you would have fought it. Can't say that I was surprised. Oh, 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 oh. I'm so done with you. Yeah, I'm so done with you. And I thought you'd changed, but you go back to the same old ways. Yeah, I'm so done with you. I hope that it made you feel good.
No. It's my show. I'm just worried about it.
About what?
Well, I changed the schedule to Tuesdays and Fridays. And I'm just afraid that my viewership's gonna drop off. It seems like it has.
Today's Tuesday, though. You haven't even done the show yet since you changed. How could your viewership drop off if you haven't even done a show?
Right after I announced it the next day, there was just less people there. And then
Because there's no show the next day.
No, I think people think that maybe I'm not serious, or maybe I'm backing off,
I
or
don't
maybe
think
I'm
people
pulling
really
back.
think about it at all.
Are you kidding me? That Joel Marshall's lunch therapy is like really important in people's lives.
Okay.
It helps people. Helps people get through this, horrible time, and it's therapy. This is really important to the hummingbirds. I don't know what Chuck and Loretta are gonna do at noon if there's no Joel Marshall's lunch therapy.
Well, I guess they better start figuring it out, right? Jeez.
What are you talking about?
Well, you can't be in the garage for the rest of your life, right? You are going to have to emerge and go to auditions and go do stand-up or whatever it is.
Joel Marshall's lunch therapy is the most important thing in my life right now, okay? It is very important to me, and I know it's important to the hummingbirds. I know that. But you can still love it, and it can still be important to people, and be twice a week. I just have to think of something, I want to do something new, something that I haven't done before, so that I can prove to people that, that I'm serious. And that there's more to be mined here. Because I've got a lot of ideas. I have not run out of ideas. Remember that time when Todd Lee said that he thought the show jumped the shark? That was at like episode 35. Now it's at like 246 or something like that. We hadn't even had Sethward on yet. We hadn't even had Manta Rays. The Manta Ray episode wasn't for like 200 episodes. So
that's right. There are
God
endless
knows what's
things
gonna
in the
happen.
world you can do episodes about.
There are.
Why don't the first thing you should do is eat that banana?
I can't eat a banana? Are you kidding me? How many times do I need to tell you I'm intermittent fasting?
Oh, you're intermittent
I don't eat until like 1 o'clock. Yeah.
That's why you were eating
16
that
hours.
molten chocolate ice cream last night at 10:30.
It was emotional eating. Okay, I'm an emotional eater. Sometimes I just eat my feelings, and I was stressed, and I ate some of that stuff. So now I guess I gotta fast longer. Just gotta fast longer.
Look, Joel, people feel all kinds of shit. Okay? It really doesn't matter what they think. Worry about yourself and your career and, start, getting out there, and you're gonna have to start making money at this at some point.
I make money. I make money all the time.
Yeah, you make money fixing people's computers and iPhones. Why are you making that face?
Well,
do you want to get paid for acting, or do you want to keep fixing people's iPhones?
This is a show. This is a real show. This is not
okay. Are you getting paid?
It's a real
show.
show.
A free show that you're mostly spending money on. Well, not mostly. That you're losing money on. Okay, and at some point, you're gonna have to start making money at this thing.
I make
acting,
money.
Right?
I make money.
You make money, but not at acting. You make money at IT, right? At computer support. And you hate it.
Yeah, but it pays the bills, right? Pays the bills.
Okay. You know what, Joel Marshall? Get an agent. Can't get auditions without an agent. Can't get a job acting without auditions. So if you want to wallow in the Tuesday, Friday hummingbird souffle,
Wallow. You sound like
enjoy
my mom,
it.
like
Enjoy
gallivanting
it.
around.
Enjoy it. Go for it. See ya. I hope you're still helping me shoot my audition. I'm going to get ready.
Yeah. What do you think, Boney?
She doesn't understand anything.
I
She's
know.
so annoying. I hate her. Why do you have to be married to that lady? Lunch therapy is doing important work. It's bringing people together.
Right?
It's helping them
Yes.
through these tough times.
That's
and
exactly
this lady
what it's doing.
doesn't appreciate what we're doing.
I know.
Oh my God.
God.
What animals do we got today, Joel? What are the animals?
Today we're gonna talk about squirrels.
Squirrels!
Yes.
Oh my
love
God!
squirrels.
I knew this squirrel in Flatbush, Joel. He was super violent. I think it was because he was eating all that J Street pizza. Remember that rat, Joel?
Pizza rat.
Yeah.
Remember
this,
Pizza
this
Rat?
guy was Pizza
This guy
Squirrel.
like the pizza.
He would forget the subway. He'd just run at
The
you on
size of that
Newkirk
pizza was,
Avenue.
like, bigger than
he
his-
would run at you. He would like his little.
Oh my God! Is that the time?
Huh? Oh yeah.
It's afternoon.
Oh yeah.
Boney.
What?
Why didn't you tell me? The show was already started.
Oh, yeah, it started a few minutes ago.
Well, I mean, it can't start without me there, right?
It did, though. That's the thing
Bonnie,
about
come
it.
on,
Don't
let's go.
worry. Oh, boss, just give me a break. I need a minute. Can I eat the banana?
Oh, God, eat the banana. I'll meet you out there. Get some of those bumpers ready. Come on.
Okay, I gotta keep my strength up, boss.
Bonnie! Bonnie!
Boy, that guy's gotta do some breathing exercises or something. He's losing it.
Thing for my head!
He's losing it, man.
I'm gonna get myself a modem. 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 Hey, music's so loud. Hey everybody, here we are, Tuesday. Yeah. It's, it's a little weird being on Tuesday, but hey, for the first 100 or so episodes, we were on Tuesday every week. So I don't know why that's so different, right? What's the weird thing about that? And what do we call it? Like, Taco Tuesday's already taken, I guess. Let's see who's here. Jose, Kamala's being the voice of reason. She is definitely reasonable sometimes. Boney needs some lunch. It's a double feature today. Hey everybody, it's great to see you all here on Tuesday. I'm glad you made the jump to Tuesday. What do we got here today? It's International Teacher Day, or some kind of teacher day. I saw it on the Facebook. It must be true. So Greg Worla, happy Teacher Day. Good to see you here for the double feature. Thanks, Jose. Of course, some acting involved, some acting going on Lunch Therapy. Feels kind of weird, Tuesday, but I'm feeling good about it. What is it called? It's called Therapy Tuesday, perhaps, or Toys Day. Toys Day sounds kind of weird. All right, we got Silly Rust here. Silly Rust says hello. Good to see you, Silly Rust. Teacher Appreciation Day. That's what we're doing. We're appreciating the teachers today. You'll have more viewers on Tuesday because they say Monday is a day many people end it. Yeah, so all the survivors will be on Tuesday. Yeah, it's true. If you survive to Tuesday, you can get your therapy. Double shot. All right, well, it's great to see everybody here today. I gotta tell you. I was having, a little bit of a nervous, neurotic breakdown. But, feeling better now. Now that I got a pep talk from my team. Yeah, we were sitting at the table going over some stuff. So, we got some top talent on this show. We've had probably 80 people on this show. And of all the 80 people that have been on the show, none of them are on the show today. So it's just me. It's just me, and we're going to hang out. I got some breaking news at the top of the show. I got a few things that I want to show you in the watch party. I've got a lot about brainwaves. Today is a day about brainwaves. I hope some of you have some. Toys Day. Toys Day. Let's get into this thing. I got to breathe, clearly. Okay, so here we are. I've got the background here is from Thailand. Yes, all the way from our viewer in Thailand, Jeff Lohman. He sent me this. He said, hey, there is a storm a-coming. Teacher Appreciation Week. Not just day, week. This is what it looks like in Thailand when there's a storm coming. I mean, he knew, because look at this. Then the trees start shaking. Seem like they're shaking a little too fast. Jeff's into that, stop motion kind of stuff, or whatever that is, where you speed it up. I don't know what you call it. It seems like a lot of motion to be called stop motion, so I don't think it's that. I think it's called time lapse. Time lapse. And, we're going to talk about, so we're talking about brainwaves today, and one of the things that I want y'all to focus on is the fact that breathing changes your brainwaves in a good way. Right now, my brainwaves are probably in a beta state right now, which is, a lot of thinking going on, a lot of stressing out. Maybe high beta, I'll tell you about that later. But let's take in a breath. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. Sounds like Tuesday. I think that's the problem is Tuesday and Thursday are kind of, they kind of go together. Tube Day. Yeah. The Birdman of Tuesday. If we say this enough, we'll remember it's Tuesday. You only get a day. He only gets a day? Teachers get, I think, hopefully they get more than a day. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. Now I'm honing in. I'm honing in now. One more. In through the nose, out through the toes. This is cool. I could watch this all day. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. In India, they have these breathing techniques they call pranayama, where you take your finger like this, and you close off one part of your nose, and you breathe in. And then you hold it. You close off the nose, you hold it. And then you let go of the other nose. And you let the air come out. Kind of clears out the sinuses, doesn't it? All right, so moving on. It clears out the sinuses, but it also apparently affects your brain, weirdly enough. Who is this in the picture? If anybody in the chat room knows, I've got another picture of this dog. But, yep, here he is right here. This dog's name is Mocha. Lives in Thailand with Jeff Lohman and Mayada. And they're having a good old time there in the storm. Chuck says tsunami warnings right now in Northern California because being on the fault. Seems like that would be an earthquake warning, right? There's a lot to read there. I heard today that we all just want to be safe, and according to Jim Carrey, we want to take chances. Our brain makes always be safe, so I don't know. See, I can't read. So to take chances, we're going out of our comfort zone. Thank you, Jim Carrey. Yeah, we want to go out of our comfort zone. I'm definitely going out of my comfort zone today. Jack never liked his teachers. They were capital level mean. Oreo's replacement. Yeah, that's Mocha. Lauren Wesley Ackerman, comedian here. Great to see you. Another comedian in the house. Jack does, by the way, a show called Pakageddon on YouTube, and you got to check it out. There might be some really interesting appearances on the show pretty soon. It might be yours truly. I don't know. We'll see. Here we go. Breaking news. Okay, people. This is kind of sad news. This is sad news, but we're going to have to deal with it. Witchy Poo has passed away. Yeah. Witchy Poo's name was Billy Hayes. It's the actress Billy Hayes who played Witchy Poo. She was one of the greats. She lived to be 96 years old, but she just passed away. There she is in her signature ride, her broom with her henchman. If anybody can name the henchman, you get a bonus. I think one of them was a spider and one of them was a vulture. And anyway, she was one of the greats. There she is in all her regalia. Witchy Poo will be missed. She was one of the finest, and she was in lots of other television shows, including another Sid and Marty Krofft show called Lidsville, where she played the Weenie Genie. So that's cool. Not cool that she passed away, but she is super cool. And she will be sorely missed. Sorely missed. So next thing as far as news goes, and this is kind of a new thing, news of the interesting, news of the weird, non-political news, is that this right here is a new dinosaur that they discovered in China. Yeah, they discovered it in China. It is called Sinomacrops bondae. Sinomacrops bundae, and it lived 160 million years ago. So that's kind of cool. They found this in China just recently. They didn't know that these existed. They're kind of like bats, right? They're kind of like bats. They fly around. They have a fur-like covering, but it's not really fur. It's like something in between fur and feathers. So that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild that they find. It's cool that they just come up with new stuff all the time from the planet. So this planet, we got a lot to discover. Let's see what's going on in the chat room. Yeah, people are talking about Witchy Poo because we miss her, right? We miss her. Hola, Lauren, Wesley Ackerman, Orson, and Seymour. Thank you. Greg Wardla wins once again with the trivia. Orson and Seymour. Seymour Spider, Orson Vulture. Something like that. May the loved ones celebrate her life well. Yeah, I mean, what an incredible contribution to my childhood, Witchy Poo. Although I was scared of her. How big is that thing? They're tiny. They're little guys. They cruise around. There's another picture of him. Sinomacrops bundae. I don't know why they give it that name, but it looks like a bat. Yeah, it's a lot like a bat. Pam, great to see you here, Pam, on a Tuesday. Jack Does says yuck, and he's the guy that has a whole YouTube channel about horror and people cutting each other's heads off and all that stuff. So I don't know, I don't know. But here, under the heading of dystopian future, oh, it's fossils found in China. There you go. Under the heading of dystopian futures, this robot from Boston Dynamics was hired by the New York Police Department. And kind of bad timing, really. I mean, they said that they were going to help, it was going to protect people, rescue people, help protect cops. But everybody went, uh-oh, RoboCop. Everybody got freaked out by this thing. And they fired it. Yep. According to NPR, the robot dog, Spot, has been fired by the NYPD. So I don't know. I mean, they've been trying really hard, Boston Dynamics, in I guess, presenting these robots in a fun way. They had them dancing. They had them all dancing to like a 50s song a while back. They've had them lifting heavy things. Like they have robots that are like big old forklifts and stuff. Hey, look, we can help. But everybody knows about RoboCop. Everybody knows about I'll be back. These kind of things. So, luckily, the dystopian future has been pushed back, has been delayed. There are other dystopian things that are coming about. Kamala says, love all the creatures, Jack, even the ones that were 60 million years ago. 160 million years ago. Get your facts straight, Marshall. And Greg Wardla says, didn't it struggle to fly? More coasted like a flying squirrel. Yeah, I think it's closer to a flying squirrel. It also was a little bit like a lizard, this thing that we were looking at. Let's look at him again. Oh, there's Witchy Poo again. Let's just look at him for a second. Yeah, he's got big eyes. Some people liken him to those weird creatures that were in the latest Star Wars. I don't know if I buy that. I mean, I think it's its own creature, right? Look at it and the way he walks around on his little wings. Certainly more evolved than some of us. And that was 160 million years ago. So definitely more evolved than a lot of comedians that I know. Hired. Yeah, the robot was hired and then fired. Here, puppy, Robo Horse. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe someday we're all going to have these robot. It eats power. Oh, this guy, Synopticrops Bondi, eats insects, they think, like a lot of bats. We were talking a while back about the bats and how you can get a bat house for your house. The bat was telling us about that because they eat nuts. They eat insects. Guinel, it's so great to see you here, Guinel. The robots need a union. I know. I forgot I'm using the Pittsburgh pronunciation. Robots. They should make the Dare Dog. You mean to go after the drug users? Looks like my mother-in-law. Your mother-in-law is pretty incredible. Have you seen what these things do? I keep going back and forth between the Sonoma Crops Bondi. Yeah, see, I powered through. I didn't just give up. I powered through, and I kind of pronounced it. But yeah, I'm going back and forth between these two. Right now, we're looking at the frog bat, the bat frog, the lizard king. Is it May the 4th? Are you serious? Oh, it is. Yeah, because it is Gunnar Rohrbacher's birthday today. Happy birthday, Gunnar Rohrbacher. Yeah, it's May the 4th, so May the 4th be with you. That's, of course, why I had the Millennium Falcon in the beginning of the show. Of course, that's why. All right, let's get on with the show. I got a few things that I want to show you, just adorable things, more adorable stuff coming your way. Let's get into it. So I'm going to show you some adorable stuff, but first I'm going to show you something that's calming, because I think, I don't know, today I really need the calming stuff. Something about me and where I am right now. But I gotta get some calm. So the first thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put a little calming music, calming video for us to just kind of relax. You know, I don't have to be talking the whole time. We can be chilling out, and this is something that I found, which is pretty cool. Turn this music off. This is called The Art of Silence. It's out there on YouTube for everybody to listen to. It's probably super loud right now because I can't hear it. There it is. It's just some music, and it's a little visual, but it's interesting because the guy who puts it out, or the woman, Unique, Unique, Unique. I'm gonna go with unique because I don't know about eunuch. I don't think they want to be called eunuch. One of the things he says is there's like a link in the show notes of that if you don't want to hear the annoying, and they actually say annoying synthesizer. I find synthesizers kind of fun, but maybe that's because I'm a child of the 80s, I guess. Super loud. Robot Union Uprising. Kind of weird we were talking about those dogs getting fired on May the 4th. I don't know why it's weird, really. Because there aren't... I don't know of any dog robots in Star Wars. Are there any? There could be. You'd think they'd have a lot. I don't... There's just kind of humanoid robots. All right, let's move on. Speaking of humanoid robots, this is going to make Greg Wordle really happy. Because it's a bear taking a bath. I love watching bears take baths, and maybe that's weird. Maybe you'll think I'm weird for doing that, but I dig it. And I don't know, they just seem to really enjoy it. It's also something that, again, validates me, and I like to be validated, just like everybody else. And I happen to love baths, and I make it public that I do. I don't take baths in public, but I make it public that I love baths. And so do these giant bears. Yeah. Ooh. And, Todd Lee says it's like bathing in your own swill, I think he said. I don't know. Love watching bears. Veronique is here. We're going to watch some... Veronique loves wolves, and we're going to watch some wolves. This is from something that she turned me on to, which is called Voyager's Wolf Project. Go on over to That was such great timing, Veronique. Go on over there to Voyager's Wolf Project. This is a trail in the woods. This is a year. You can watch a year of animals on this trail in the woods. And you can watch bears. You can watch wolves. Dog looks a little bit like an AT-AT. Yeah, an AT-AT. Those giant Star Wars. Look at that squirrel. We're going to be talking about squirrels later on today if there's enough time. I don't know if we're going to get there. I hope so. Dog robot looks a little like an AT-AT, yeah. Should wait for the bear to do my mother-in-law joke. Always got to hold off the mother-in-law jokes for like the perfect timing. I'm going to be in the Trash Panda comedy room later on today in this show, hopefully. Talking about my dad, who looks a little like that bear right there. Toddler once pointed me at the beach and shouted, "Mommy, that bear is swimming." Pointed at you. I can always count on Greg for a good laugh. Because it's Teacher Appreciation Week, not just day. Elephants. Elephants take baths. Yes, they do. They take sand baths, too, which is odd. May the 4th be with you for fun. Filth. Sometimes I like just reading the comments aloud. Let's see what Chuck says here. Bears are attacking my friends at home in Rhode Island. Year of animals on this trail in the woods. I told them, please bring all food items inside walls. Well, sometimes when people go camping, they put their food items up in the tree because they don't want bears to think that they're like, pig in a blanket kind of thing. Interesting how they stay on the trail. Yeah, they're not dumb. Where do we find your show? My show? Well, if this show you find this one that we're watching, you find, once again, I'm going to say it, Voyager's Wolf Project. That's probably not what we're talking about. Are we talking about Jack Does' show? Jack Does Horror on YouTube. Bears are gentle giants unless you stick your head in their mouth. Yeah, why people do that, I don't know. Why people antagonize. If I had a big mouth, somebody stuck their head in there all the time, I'd probably clamp down too, right? Because I'd be like, knock it off. Isn't this footage amazing? Yeah, it really is. Anyway, head on over there to Voyager Wolf Project and check this out because you can do it anytime you want. You can take your kids there. Okay, so the movie, everybody has to watch. If you haven't watched this movie, you have to watch the My Octopus Teacher, since it's
we both pulled back.
Teacher Week. You should probably do that. But this is a woman who's friends with an octopus on the Dodo, which is a great channel.
Of course, he's only a little octopus,
great channel.
But I was very surprised by his strength.
Do your comedy later today. No, I mean later in the show. There's going to be some comedy.
Curious if he would learn and how he would learn some stuff.
I don't think the lady in Colorado who was attacked and killed by a bear might not think they're gentle giants. Well, my experience, and I've been around bears, is that they don't really want to eat humans. I actually had a friend who was mauled by a bear. But it's usually because they think I'm not a scientist, and maybe Veronique can jump in on this because she knows about wolves at least. But most of the time, it's because they think their cubs are in danger. So if you get between the cubs and the bear, that's when you could have a lot of problems because they're just looking out for their kinfolk. Greg can understand that, I'm sure. And but one time, I was on a trail and I came across a black bear, and what you have to do is you just have to make noise, just any kind of noise. In fact, in the Yosemite Park, I knew somebody that worked there, was like a forest ranger, and they would wear a bell, and that was enough that the bears would know you were coming and they'd get out of the way, and they wouldn't feel like you were going to attack them. Because as we know, the most dangerous animals on the planet are what? Humans, right? So if you want to look out for some, I don't blame any animal for attacking humans because this is just an adorable fox. There were two adorable foxes that were, I don't know, they were found, but independent of one another. I'm making this up. Independent of one another, they were rescued, and then they just become, adorable friends. And that's that for you. So go on over to the Dodo. Right now, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to a comedian talking about comedy, and it's going to be, a comedian not talking about comedy, talking science. This is going to be a big one. All right, let's get into this thing. And please chime in, Greg, everybody. All right, so this guy. I don't know if y'all have heard of this guy. I'm going to turn the sound down here because I'm going across the internet and I run across this guy, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Anybody heard of him? Don't know really what to think of him, but what he was saying was super interesting. And let's take a look here. Greg is still talking about bears. Guignel says sounds fair, probably talking about the bear thing. Okay, so Joe Dispenza, I'm going to try and explain this to you. This is a comedian talking science about the brain because I'm super interested in brainwaves, and I've been super interested about it ever since we saw this, not this, but hold on there. Uh-oh, the thing has gone off the rails with the foxes seeing each other through the fence. You got to watch that on your own. Okay, this is the thing. So last week, we had Ginny on the show, Ginny Sykes, and we were talking about this monkey. And if anybody didn't see it, I'll explain to you this very quickly. Neuralink, they put the Neuralink, this is a company, an Elon Musk company, where they're messing around with our brains. Not our brains yet, but they're messing around with monkey brains. So they put a Neuralink, which is a device that has contacts in your brain and records data from your brain. So you'll see that above my head. It's recording the brain waves of this monkey, and you can see down below the brain wave of the monkey. And the monkey is playing Pong, and the monkey is much better than any of us at Pong because he's been practicing, and we haven't. You know, if you want to be good at Pong, you got to practice. You got to practice. So he's been practicing. And the interesting thing about this, I'll explain this. The video has a delightful British man who explains it to you, but I'm going to do this in raw American English. Basically, what happens here is they record his brain waves and they see what does the paddle do when certain brain waves occur. And so then they're matching them up to the movements of the paddle, and eventually the joystick that he's using, they disconnect it. And then he's moving it and just thinking it, and it's connected to through Bluetooth to a phone, and then that phone is moving the paddle. So he's moving the paddle in effect with his brain waves, speaking to an iPhone that is then, or an Android phone. I don't know. I don't know if he's Android or iPhone. I really don't care, okay? I don't care. Elon Musk, I'm thinking Elon Musk probably has his own phone that he invented or something like that. It's probably better, probably drives itself, probably makes its own phone calls. I don't know. But anyway, brain speaking directly to the paddle. He's getting the reward of drinking the banana. I don't know how I feel about this. Uh-oh, the screen froze. Is it still frozen? That would be terrible, wouldn't it? I'd win against the monkey, I promise. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you would. Okay, let's get back into this. So that brings us to this guy, Joe Dispenza, because I was interested in, like, brainwaves. I'm like, how does that work? I don't know anything about brainwaves. I'm not sure if I have any that are functioning. So what I do is I look this guy up, and he's talking about brainwaves, and what he says is this, and he says there, and I've looked into this, and it seems to be true. There are different types of brainwaves. Yes, didn't freeze for you. Thank God. That would be the worst if in the middle of this brainwave thing, we froze. So, okay, so there's, according to this guy and some other people that I've looked at, and this is a comedian, by the way. This is a comedian talking science. So none of this could be true. Maybe Greg Wordle will fact check. Comedian. I mean, kind of a smart comedian. Hold on a sec. Science. There. I've got to put this disclaimer down here. So there's 5 different types of brainwaves. There's delta, theta, alpha, beta, gamma. Delta, theta, alpha, beta, gamma. It's kind of weird because this is where I'm kind of like, this doesn't seem very scientific because it's not really an order. And if I remember from college, it's like alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, something like that. That's the Greek alphabet. And that's the order that they're in. And you'd think they'd kind of keep them in order, but instead they got them all jumbled up. So, you know how I'm going to start in the middle with alpha, because alpha, is the first letter in the Greek alphabet. And it's also a state that apparently you can get into where, you're kind of in the zone. People always talk about that, trying to get in the, an alpha state. So that this guy, Joe Dispenza, describes that as your body is totally relaxed and you're conscious of your internal and your external, right? So you're conscious of both the external and the internal, kind of like when you sit down to meditate. And it's a good place to be in, or if you're really focused on something and you're conscious of what's going on, and then you're also conscious of how it's affecting you. And that's kind of a good state to be in. And then, but a lot of times we spend our time in these beta waves, and you see the beta waves are much faster brain waves, and you think, well, maybe I'm smarter in that way. But we're much more focused, apparently, on, I've got some music playing here. We're much more focused. I gotta explain this more clearly. So we're much more focused on the external world when we're in the beta waves. And this can be monitored through an EEG connected to our brains, an electroencephalogram, which measures your brain waves similar to the monkey, similar to the way they were monitoring the monkey. But they put all those electrodes around your head rather than in your brain. So they can monitor this stuff. They can see when people are in the alpha state. They can see people when they're in the beta state, which apparently as adults after the age of 12, according to this Joe Dispenza guy, we're mostly in these beta waves when we're awake. We wake up in the morning, our body gives off this chemical because our eyes see light. And the light tells our eyes to tell our pineal gland, which is in our brain, tells our pineal gland to release serotonin. And serotonin gets us up, moving around. All of a sudden, we don't feel like sleeping anymore. We're like having a great time. But it also, we start to go into that beta state where we're now very aware of the outside world and maybe not as aware as our inside world. And that's when we're kind of getting stuff done. And then if we get into a high beta state, though, that's where we get kind of stressed out and we're completely worried about the outside world. And it's really hard to learn in that state. In fact, it's easier to learn, back me up on this, Greg Wordla, when you're in the alpha state. The alpha state is just, it's more introspective, or at least it is introspective. And that's why, according to this Joe Dispenza guy, when you are teaching something to somebody and they kind of go like this, and they're thinking about it, they're processing it maybe in these alpha waves, where they can take stuff in a little bit better. Let's see what some people say in the chat room about this stuff. Let's see. If you're too aware, do you turn into the Hulk? It's a good question. So this is something, it's a really good point, Guignel, because I wanted to talk to you all about what this guy describes as a gamma state. So a gamma state is apparently where the waves are super fast. And you would think, hey, this guy or gal is really in brain overdrive, and it would be like not a good place to be. But apparently, it's incredible. So in this gamma state, which is this is the way he describes it. This is where it gets a little bit weird, and maybe you can follow me. Maybe you'll be like, that's a bunch of BS, Marshall. But this is what he says. He says, people that meditate for a long period of time start to have these gamma rays and gamma waves in their brain. And our brains don't really get into this gamma state very often. They say it happens for like a second. If you, like right now, if everybody thinks about biting into an apple, that could, for a moment, your brain waves could go into this gamma state, but just like for seconds. So this is where it gets interesting. And we'll talk theta, delta. Delta is when you're asleep. Theta is when you have kind of, your body has gone to sleep, but your mind is there. And this is a good state to be in. It says tired here, but according to this guy, theta is a good place to be because you're not aware of your body anymore. You're just mind. And that's a good place to be if you want change to occur. Anyway, which brings me to this. This is Matthew Ricard. He's a French guy who suddenly became a monk. And he actually used to translate, I believe, for the Dalai Lama. Here he is with a duck or a goose. I don't know. So his brain, apparently, is often in this gamma state, which is a kind of superhuman state. So this is the way Joe Dispenza describes it. I don't know if it's true. You know how there's chakras? There's chakras in the body. Different places where we have energy. Well, apparently the lower chakras are super powerful because that's where we digest food. That's where we procreate. That's where we, if something happens and we have to run, that's where we run from. So it's a lot of energy there, a lot of power. And apparently what Joe Dispenza says, he's a doctor apparently, is that when we get into this gamma state, what has happened is we have released this energy. It has gone up through our body, through the pineal gland, opens up some kind of gate, and it releases all this power like Incredible Hulk style, but in the mind. And then that makes this incredible energy through your body that feels like an orgasm. And also makes you super happy. And yeah, let's take a look at some of the things here. Jose's already frozen. Beta Ray, Bill. South Dakota, not a good state to be in. As long as you don't turn into a Scientologist from the theta waves, that's seriously scary. So the Scientologists say theta, but they're talking about something else. They're talking about, I don't know, the thetans or something like that, but that's different from these brain waves. So Heath Ledger had too many waves. Okay, so what they found out, because they hooked up all these electrodes to this guy, Matthew Ricard, who wrote the book called Happiness. First time I found out about him was my mother-in-law gave me this book called Happiness, and I read it, and it was super great. And it was written by this guy, and they say he's the happiest man in the world. Here he is with the duck. So there's the book. There he is with the Dalai Lama. Read his book, Happiness. But I'll give you the short-term thing about it is the book Happiness essentially tells you to meditate. So these guys meditate for long periods of time. This guy, Richard Davidson, put electrodes on these monks' heads. One of them, Matthew Ricard, studies them all the time. He's at the university. This guy's at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. They put all these electrodes on Matthew Ricard's head. They study his brainwaves, and what did they find out? Tons of gamma waves. Not only in him, here he is with the electrodes, the electroencephalogram on his head. And they found out just tons and tons and tons of these gamma waves. Not gamma rays, gamma waves. And that is probably why he's so happy. Shouldn't it be greater than... Well, apparently these gamma waves that they have seen in his head are like off the charts. And it's true for a lot of these monks, these Tibetan monks, these Indian monks. They get into this zone that's better than being in the zone, alpha state. But it's this zone of massive creativity, this zone of massive energy and happiness. So I'm interested in this. I wonder about transcendental meditation, if they are, trying to achieve this. I wonder if enlightenment is something like this. He's the happy version of Lex Luthor. He is.
Is he happy because he got his cable hooked up? He definitely has his cable hooked up, that's for sure. So anyway, so that is me trying to explain some science. Look into it yourself. I'm going to keep looking because, I looked around and it turns out this Joe Dispenza guy does have all these like workshops that happen down by the airport. And that always makes me, I don't know if it happens down by the airport, but that always makes me a little bit like worried when I see like all these mass of followers and then a guy up on stage talking about it. And then like they're selling brain supplements and things like that. I don't know. Maybe that's just the skeptical part of me. Maybe I can't believe in anything anymore. Ever since my lucky astrology mood watch failed me. He's known as the happiest man in the world. Not his idea. I believe he was a scientist. Yes, he was a scientist before he was a monk. And so especially amenable to participating in the study. Yeah, he was totally like, let's do this thing. And he talks about it in his book. And he also talks about, one other thing that I wanted to mention, is he talks about this guy in the beginning of the thing. He talks about how this guy was sitting in this beautiful place. And he was sitting with somebody else. I don't know. I'm paraphrasing now. But what happened was they were like, isn't this a lovely mist? There was a lovely mist that was cooling them off. And they were like really enjoying this. And then later on they found out it was the bugs were peeing on them or something like that. It's like what I said a while back about how all the beaches in Hawaii, all the sand on the beaches is basically fish poop. So what he was saying was, it's really about your perspective. It's not what happens to you, it's how you receive it. Maybe supplements laced with DMT. I don't know. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like, I'm guessing it's like some kind of hallucinogen. That's what I'm guessing. So that's all I'm going to talk about with the brainwaves. Hopefully, you could follow me. Hopefully I could follow myself. I know I get distracted a lot of times. And that's kind of the joy of being a comedian explaining science. If I was a teacher, that would be horrible. The students would be so confused. All right, so we're moving on. Let's see. This has been your brain on gamma rays. But now it's time for some squirrels. Okay, so I promised that I would talk about squirrels today. Here they are. Thanks, Jose. Appreciate that. I do. I'm so interested in that. And we're going to be, one of the things that I want to do in the future on the show, because, we changed the schedule. We're basically, I'm trying to lock it down into something that is long-term, that can go on while we're maybe out of the pandemic, which, things are crazy right now. So it's hard to say whether we're going to be moving out of this pandemic or not. But things are starting to change a little bit as far as expectations and schedules and things like that. And so as we move forward, one of the things that I want to do is I want to explore some of these therapies for our brains in a fun, comical way. Maybe we can even bring on some other comedians and we can try things out. Maybe not hallucinogenics, but something like that. Brain is a muscle. We got to work it out. Yeah. More science and science-adjacent things. I do want to continue with discovery, because I like to say this show is like a kid's show for adults. But what I really mean by that is kids, they do all kinds of fun things and they're all interested in all kinds of cool stuff. And as we get older, sometimes we don't allow ourselves to get interested in something like animals because we're like, well, I'm not a vet. Or get interested in space because, I'm not an astronaut, I'm not a scientist. And what happened to the grass you were going to get? Sven is here. Jane Goodall learned us some much about chimpanzees by trying just to figure them out. That's right. And that's what we're going to do on this show, is we're going to try and figure some of this stuff out. I want to learn about transcendental meditation. I know nothing about it. I hear it's expensive. If we can get somebody on the show to talk about it, that would be great. So anyway, so these are squirrels. These are squirrels. I'm thinking David Lynch should come on the show and tell us about this stuff. But, that one can dream, right? This is like the squirrels eating my head. Okay, what do we know about squirrels? What do I know about squirrels? Only what they tell me. And I'll tell you one thing about squirrels, and the fact that he's eating my brain right now, is that squirrels' front teeth just keep growing. They just keep growing. They always have to gnaw on things like wood and stuff to make the teeth stop, or, shorter or whatever. Like, say they have to cut their hair. They have to cut their teeth. Maybe that's where they get the phrase, cut your teeth. Don't be bored. Exactly. Microdosing. Somebody can tell me. I'll bring somebody on to talk about microdosing. Kind of stuff scares me. Somebody told me that they went somewhere to lick a frog. And of course, there is a Gashuffer song about that, or at least mentions that. I have to mention Gashuffer every show, and I got it in finally. Squirrels can smell food under a foot of snow. They're always burying stuff. And you wonder, how do they find it? And you know what? A lot of times they go back there and it's gone because there are a lot of thieves. A lot of other animals steal squirrel food because the squirrels are known for putting things away for the winter. And when the winter comes around, some of the lazy ass trash pandas are like, I didn't put anything away. Where's that squirrel gold, squirrel treasure? So they go and they eat them. So what do the squirrels do? The squirrels will pretend to bury stuff. You'll see squirrels out there pretending to bury stuff because they're just trying to fake out the trash pandas. Yeah. So they lose a quarter of their food to thieves. Yeah. And a group of squirrels, does anybody know what it's called? A group of squirrels. They kind of hang out by themselves a lot. Matt says, don't try to help an injured squirrel yourself. Even if your wife asks you to do, it will bite you. So my mom worked at the Cleveland Plain Dealer years ago, and she said she was there, and the guy came in, and he was just covered in scratches. And we were like, what happened? And he said he was playing around with a squirrel. The claws are intense. That's brutal when a squirrel or rabbit's teeth grow up instead of down. Don't be squirrely. All right, a few more facts. Group of squirrels is called a scurry. Yeah. The word squirrel is Greek, means shadow tail. Squirrels cannot burp or vomit. So, that's not good. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Sometimes they chew old rattlesnake skin and then lick their skin to hide their smell from predators. That's the thing, is the little baby ones, they have about a 1-year lifespan on average, but squirrels can live to 20 years in captivity. They can fall from almost 100 feet without hurting themselves. Yeah. And in Longview, Washington, they have a squirrel fest every August. So you can look forward to that. Poor little squirrels can't burp. All right, kids, I promised that I was going to get in the Trash Panda comedy room, but I can't do it because I'm running out of time. But I'll save that promise for next Wednesday or maybe even Friday. I don't know what's happening Friday, but something cool is going to happen because that's the magic of lunch therapy. Let's get into the dance break. I want to say some final words. Please let everybody know about the new schedule, Tuesdays and Fridays, noon Pacific. We're going to have more comedians on, more wacky people, more scientists, hopefully. More punk rock ears will be on. More interactive stuff, more contests, all that stuff. Right now, we're going to dance to some kids in Romania playing some Bob Dylan, Jimi Hendrix style, all along the Watchtower. Let's get into it. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Thanks for showing up on Tuesday because, obviously, you're roasted. Here we go. Here we go. Special thanks to Jim Tyler, Hard Masada, Goddess Nike. These are Romanian kids. Talented AF.
must be some kind of way out of here. Said to Joker the thief. There's too much confusion.
I'm dancing. Dance. It's like, you know, cowboys when they shoot. That's me.
Drink my wine.
It's mellow right now, but it's gonna get off the chain any second.
No one will ever on the line.
If you want to go to their
Nobody of it is mine.
channel, Andrei Cerbu.
No reason to get excited. The thief come this morning. There are many here among us who feel alive, but it's a joke. But you and I, we've been through death, and this is not
I gotta get some more guest dancers on the show. Dancing.
so let us stop.
That could be the thing. All of a sudden, Bill Gates comes on and is dancing with me. Apparently, Elon Musk is going to be on SNL this weekend. So weird, right? Maybe he'll come on and dance. Please dance. Scream B. Jimi Hendrix went to Garfield. Seattle. Yes. Seattle kid. Whether he likes it or not. Who else went to Garfield? I'm thinking Quincy Jones went to Garfield as well. Is that right? These kids are talented. These kids are good. Thank you to these kids for letting me play this on the show. Really appreciate it. All the way from Romania. Andrei Cerbu, the voodoo child, he calls himself. Which is cool. Those girls are awesome. Alright, I'll see you all on Friday for more than therapy.